We don't stop until we get to the goals. Let's talk about that really quick. Can you provide guidance on setting realistic and achievable goals during my pulmonary rehabilitation? We look at the work of breathing, we look at the disease, okay? We also look at what medications you're on right now. Okay, so let's just take those for instance, and also let's put in what we are currently able to do. How high can you get on your incentive spirometer? That's this device right here. How high can you get on that? So let's say the person is only doing 750 milliliters. That's their max or average. 750. That means they're only bringing their incentive spirometer piston up to the 750 mark on their incentive spirometer. Okay, the person, let's say, is 6 foot tall. Okay, so we obtain that data, of course, through their medical records, or just ask the patient, how tall are you? So let's say the person is 6 foot. Okay, 6 foot tall, the person weighs 200 pounds. Okay, all right. Currently, the volume on their incentive spirometer is 750, so a realistic goal is to get it to half of their max. So just by doing the math really quick, it's 65 milliliters per kilogram body weight. So we need this person to be above, they need to be at least above 2,500 milliliters if you do the math. Okay, because this is in pounds, but that's the regular body weight. We have to go to ideal body weight, which is 180 pounds. Then you take 180 pounds, convert it to kilograms by dividing it by 2.2, and that gives you, 180 divided by 2.2. So you're looking at around 5,330 milliliters of volume is what that person that's 6 foot tall is capable of doing. Okay, so 5,300. Let's make the math easy and say 5,000. Let's round down. Okay, so half of 5,000 is 2,500. The person needs to be, their realistic goal is to be at 2,500. Okay, you need to get that piston up to there, if not higher, on any given day. Currently, the person is only able to do 750. So we're not going to tell them, like, we're going to mention to the patients, like, you got to get to 2,500 or better, but your first goal is to get to 1,000. That's simple. Why? Because if you try to put, let's say you have a patient who's very anxious, that has a hard time with manual dexterity, or sometimes some problems with the technology or whatever devices they have, let's just say. Okay, but regardless, you look at this at a psychology level. So on a psychological level. So 750, 1,000 is very easily to achieve. Once the person achieves that, then you increase it by 500. So the next volume goal is 1,500. Then you add another 500 to that, and then your next goal is 2,000. If you let's say, all right, you need to get 2,500, the person is only doing 1,000. They're slowly climbing, but they're going to be that person might be discouraged. They're like, I'm still not there yet. I still got to do more respiratory muscle training and things like that, and they feel a little sad or something. By setting realistic goals, it keeps them happy because they're easily more achievable than the final grand finale, which is getting past the 2,500 mark. The max this person can do, remember, was 5,330. That's the max what their lungs are capable of doing. We don't need to hit the max. We just need to get to the halfway mark. Okay? Get that person breathing like a human being instead of breathing very shallow. Okay? So we got to get to that. So that's realistic. Now, I'm also going to ask this person, how far can you walk? And let's say the person, well, usually I can go 60 feet before I have to stop. And then I'll ask a question. It's like, what if I can get you up to a mile without stopping? It's like, would that make you happy or sad? So, well, that would be unbelievable. I said, well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Because when we set these goals, Mind you, outcomes are very important. Outcomes are incredibly important. We strive to make sure that everyone's outcomes, those goals that we set, these goals that we set, are realistic. Okay? So when I say I can get somebody to a mile when they can only do 60 feet, I am being real. I'm being completely transparent with that person. I'm letting them know that's realistic. He says, 1,000 feet or a mile? You know, a mile is actually but it's 5,208. But if I can get this person up to a mile, I said, give me at least 2 months, maybe 3 months. I can get you up to a mile without stopping. The person will be happy or sad. They're going to be astonished. They're going to be like, oh, absolutely. I said, but your first goal is to get to 100 feet. I'm going to show you how to breathe and walk. And I see the person's volume is really low, so I have to work on that first. Now I have a good idea of how bad this person is and what I need to do to get this person better. Very simple. Everything is a strategy, but we have to know what this person, what their disease is, We have to know what their disease is. Do they understand what their disease is? What type of medications they're on, because sometimes they're on a medication that doesn't allow 750 milliliters, but allows 1,235, like some of the dry powder inhalers. Their work of breathing, we need to drop their work of breathing. What's causing the increased work of breathing? Their volume is too low. They're not getting rid of enough CO2. They're not pulling enough oxygen. So every time that person gets up and starts walking, they'll probably do a Valsalva maneuver or something. They'll strain to get up. But they're wondering why they get so out of breath, because they're working with a volume fit for a very small animal versus a human being, which should be at 2,500. We're human beings, not little small mini animals like a squirrel. You don't want to breathe like a squirrel. Okay, so once I fix that, I tend to fix the work of breathing issue. We got to increase those lung volumes. Mandatory, or else we'll be at a standstill, where no matter what you do, the person doesn't improve unless those volumes increase.